NBA All-Star game. How about this? They pluck a fan from the stands for a chance to win $100,000 on a half-court shot.
Oh my gosh! Keep shooting. Keep going. Oh! We did it! We did it! He did it! He did it! Get in the money!
Perk, what do you think? Because little man not only knocked down the shot, but he jumped into that whole thing of money.
Well, it took him long enough, but look, at the end of the day, get your lettuce. Get your lettuce. It took him long enough to get that lettuce, but I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, they did. They gave him like 2 minutes, and he hit that shot on basically the last second. So, but he did get it.
He out there looking like McLovin from Superbad. And Perk talking about something, it took him long enough.
He did it. Time for a little game we call Contender or Pretender, and we're going to talk Eastern Conference teams. Bobby, I'll start with you. How about those Knicks? Are they pretenders? Are they contenders?
I think they're a pretender. I don't know if they can stop teams in the playoffs. 18th defensive efficiency. What good teams have they actually beaten? They're a pretender for me.
Perk, what do you think?
I disagree with Bobby. Hey, look, the championship is not won in February, it's won in June. I want to see how the Knicks are playing when they get Mitchell Robinson back. Obviously, him and Karl Anthony Towns, they can share the floor together because Karl Anthony Towns' ability to shoot the three. I think they're going to be better once OG Anunoby gets back in the lineup. And again, Tom Thibodeau is learning on the fly to go deeper into his bench and trust his other guys outside of his starting five.
Perk, next one's for you. How about the Bucks? Are they a contender or a pretender?
The team that we don't talk about enough, I'm going with them as legit title contenders. I love the moves that they made at the trade deadline, bringing in Kyle Kuzma as a third option of Dame and Giannis, and then also going and get Kevin Porter Jr. from the Clippers, a guy that could come in and get buckets off the bench and also create for others to get easier shots. I think the Bucks are legit contenders.
Okay, that's what he thinks. Bobby, what do you think?
I'm Mr. Negative today. I'm going to stay with pretender here. 7-13 versus teams above 500 here. Certainly a struggle for Milwaukee. I'm going to keep an eye on the health of Giannis for the rest of the season. Certainly sat out that All-Star game with a calf injury.
Okay, Bobby, I'll stay with you then. How about the Cavaliers? Are they pretenders, contenders?
Oh, they're contenders. I mean, I love everything about Cleveland right now. Certainly, they go out and get DeAndre Hunter at the trade deadline here. Best record in the Eastern Conference. They are a contender for me.
Yeah, so far the Beast in the East. What do you think, Perk?
I agree with Bobby. Hey, look, I'm all about giving flowers today. You can tell by the colors that I wore on television. They check all boxes. They have bigs. They have a dynamic backcourt in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and then getting DeAndre Hunter at the trade deadline to actually solidify that wing position, which is the most important position in the NBA, especially when you're going up against the defending champs in the Boston Celtics.
I want you guys to take a look at something because there is a hierarchy within the Eastern Conference. Only 6 teams are over 500, and those 6, Cleveland, Boston, New York, have clearly separated themselves from the pack. All 3 teams entered the All-Star break having won 8 of their last 10 games, with Cleveland specifically tied with OKC. They've got the best record in the NBA. So, Perk, in your opinion, biggest threat to the Celtics in the East?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest threat to the Celtics certainly is Cleveland. I think Cleveland, barring something unexpected, will finish with the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference here. And I think when you're looking at it, that 2-3 matchup, if we get a Knicks-Celtics Eastern Conference semifinals, that could be something special. But I think for Cleveland is the biggest threat to Boston here.
What do you think, Perk?
I agree with him. Cleveland is the Cavs are the biggest threat to the Celtics. And look, they went all in. They obviously went and got DeAndre Hunter at the trade deadline. I love that move by the Cavs. But the 2 bigs, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is going to be the X factor on whether or not this team goes to the NBA Finals. He's just that damn good on both ends of the floor Donovan Mitchell, we know that he can elevate to another level for us, being able to be a guy that's the best player in the 7-game series. They are a legit threat to the Celtics. They are the biggest threat to the Boston Celtics, and they also got great depth. People don't talk about Max Strus enough. We know what he's capable of doing. He showed that with the Miami Heat when they went to the NBA Finals. So I love everything about this Cavs team, and I love what Kenny Atkinson has brought to this organization.
Let's switch to the Knicks because one of you say contender, the other one say pretender. But I want you to check out their records, though, when you talk about winning teams. Here, you see 0-5 against winning teams. Bobby, do the Knicks need to make a push here in the second half of the season? What do you say they need to do here if they're going to make a big push here in the second half?
Well, Perk made a great point about the availability of Mitchell Robinson, and I think in the next 10 days we'll likely see Robinson on a court. I'm intrigued as far as pairing him with Karl-Anthony Towns in the front court here. I think that's going to be the biggest what if New York can make a push here, what they get out of Mitchell Robinson. The other thing is that they got to keep the starting five healthy. As you've seen, there is certainly a lack of depth here. They can keep the starting five healthy. They get Mitchell Robinson back. Then yes, then we can make a case for them making a push towards trying to reach an Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think they're 18th in defense. I just gave up 140 just the other night before the All-Star break, so they got to tighten that up for real. Another team in the East that needs to make some changes is how about the Sixers? Give me your thoughts there, Perk.
Do a damn thing in the second half. That's first of all. Second of all, they're the biggest disappointment in the NBA, and I believe that they should shut Joel Embiid down for the remainder of the season and let him have the surgery, go and put a plan together, and get him back ready for the next season because I don't even know how high his trade value is now. This franchise belonged to Tyrese Maxey. That's another thing. Also, Paul George, you were the biggest offseason acquisition in this past offseason. What are you going to do? Can you rise to the occasion? And I understand Shams reported that he's dealing with nicks and bruises and he's injured a little bit. Well, it's a lot of people that are dealing with injuries. But at the end of the day, they brought him in to be a needle mover. He has not done that. I think the Sixers need to shut down Embiid and get ready for next season, build around Maxey.
Wow, that's the thing. It's mind-blowing here. You got the Eagles who've won the Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden you got this NBA squad that is just looking dismal. All right, for the All-Star Game, 4-team mini tournament. Let's begin with the first matchup. LeBron James, he isn't playing in the first All-Star Game since 2004. And it was Kenny's Young Stars against Chuck's Global Stars. First team to 40 wins. And look at the Eiffel Tower. Wemby blocking dunks.
Get that out of my house.
He was not playing. Later there, how about this? Jalen Williams. And dunking it, throwing it down. Young Stars led by 27-26 at this point. But then here comes the global stars, Nikola Jokic to Wemby.
Listen, this is going to be the face of the NBA. No questions asked, folks.
And then looking to put this thing away, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander driving, dunking. He had 12 global stars win at 41-32. They advanced to the championship. Now, after the game, Draymond Green was asked about the All-Star Game new format, and let's just say he did not hold back.
You work all year to be an all-star, and you get to play up to 40, and then you're done. Also, we can watch some rising stars. We're about to watch the Olympic team. Now we get the treat of watching the Olympic team play against a U19 team. Come on, what are we doing? This is ridiculous.
Scale of 1 to 10, your thoughts of the format?
10 being the best.
Yes.
A 0. Sucks. Same basketball.
Okay, Draymond says it sucks. Perk, what do you say?
Imagine the NBA trying to fix a problem that the players cause. And then all of a sudden you have a current player and 2 former players up there actually killing the product before it's even displayed. That's the problem that I have, okay? At the end of the day, this bed that has been made has not been on the back of Adam Silver. He's trying to correct the problem. He's trying to fix it that these players have put him in a bad position, right? Do I think the format was just a flat-out hit. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. But it was the first time that we seen it. But I did think it pulled out the best of the players, especially the OGs. I saw them out there playing with some type of passion, not trying to lose to the rising stars. So at the end of the day, listen, was it perfect? No, but things has to change because the East and West format was not working. Fans were disappointed then, and some fans are disappointed now. What's the next solution? Are we going to cancel the All-Star game? I mean, damn.
Bobby, what's your take?
Yeah, listen, I think there's a lack of self-awareness from Draymond Green. I think he's kind of looking at the now and not what happened the last 2 or 3 years. And the reason why the last 2 or 3 years happened is because of the lack of effort by the All-Stars here. Now, listen, if we're looking to tweak the format and keep the format, maybe we just expand the rosters here and we go 32 players and we eliminate the Rising Stars group that we saw last night here. But I understand where Draymond's coming from, but I do think there is a lack of self-awareness as far as where we were the last couple of years.
You know, Bobby, it's interesting because we've seen the current success that in hockey with the Four Nations are having here, what they're doing. Do you think that puts more pressure, you think, on the NBA to get this thing figured out?
It should. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I was glued Saturday night to USA versus Canada instead of watching the slam dunk contest and a three-point contest. Now, the big question is, can you go to a USA versus World type format? Or maybe, Brian, we rotate every non-Olympic year, we rotate USA versus World, or maybe we go back to East versus West here. But they should put a lot of pressure as far as what we saw on Saturday night in that USA-Canada game.
What do you think, Perk?
I mean, look, Adam Silver is taking a lot of heat, but the one thing I will say is that Adam Silver has done a lot of great things for the NBA, especially when you look at the play-in tournament, right? And then the in-season tournament. Doing things to make the season not just more exciting, but more competitive in those periods throughout the course of the season where it used to be a drop-off. So again, Adam Silver has been open. Adam Silver line is always open to players for suggestions. And so whatever it takes, he's going to figure it out. And the last thing I want to say here is this, B. Think about it. Steph Curry was heavily involved with this format. His ideas were like, him and Adam Silver definitely were brainstorming and going over this new format. So I'm with Bobby. Whatever, look, we are all searching. Whatever we could try to figure out, let's figure out. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to knock it. Let's continue to try to find new avenues.
Yeah, he did get some player input when they came up with this new format. So now let's shift gears to the second semifinal matchup. You had Candace Parker's Rising Stars against Shaq's OGs here. And, of course, Steph, the hometown guy, putting on the show for the OGs. They were up too early. And then he's facing his teammate Trace Jackson Davis, shoots that three in his eye. Curry was just on fire in this game. Up 4 here. This is Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown throwing it down. A couple of former Celtic teammates going, sharing and caring. OG's up 4. Chance to win it, and it's Dame time. Damian Lillard. He had 9 points, 3 of 4 from 3. Curry had 8. OGs win it 42-35. Now, the interesting thing about this was that no LeBron James. He was a late scratch. In fact, he made the announcement an hour before the game that he wasn't going to play. Perk, give me your reaction to LeBron and his actions.
I mean, look, it came out Bron looked selfish in this situation. Not from the standpoint that he's injured and, he didn't want to be out there and play because he's trying to get over his ankle injuries and making sure that he's prepared for the season. But the fact that he could have let people know this earlier. So that's a guy like Norman Powell could have been out there as a first-time All-Star competing. I just thought it was unfair the way he went about it. He knew since he was selected as an All-Star that he wasn't going to participate. And again, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And he handled this all wrong.
He went through the practice, all kinds of stuff, and then right before the game, no Anthony Edwards.
Well, no, that's a great point. I mean, certainly Edwards played in the Thursday win against Oklahoma City, and we didn't even realize he wasn't playing until the games had started here with that groin injury here. And I think I haven't seen, I've been watching All-Star games for a long time. I haven't seen two players at the last minute pull out because of injuries here. And as Perk said, you could have found a player like Norman Powell to kind of replace them at the last minute.
Good point there. All right, now we get to the championship game, and it was Shaq's OGs, Chuck, his global stars, and it was Steph Curry and Jason Tatum who really put on the show because they outscored Charles Barkley's team 27-25, really by themselves. The OGs took the international team to school. Steph hit 4 threes, got his second career All-Star MVP, and Team Shaq won it 41-25. When you look at everything, Perk, give me the biggest thing you'd like to see fixed from the All-Star game.
Take away all the extras, right? All the extra stuff that was going on outside. Like I don't want to see a big funeral or eulogy, with Charles and Kenny and Shaq with fishing gear on throughout the course of the All-Star game. I'm sorry, I just don't want to see that. I want to see the guys hoop. And I thought at a point where those guys were actually competed, we had too much extra stuff going on, which had the viewers pissed off. I was pissed off. Again, they're there to play the basketball game. They're there to compete on the floor. I just didn't want to see all the extra stuff.
Bobby, what do you think? There was a lot of stuff in between games. I saw a lot of people on social media saying, let's just get to the games.
Well, Perk had a great point. I mean, there was less basketball and there was a lot of other things going on here. I think we forget about the younger players, the Jalen Brunsons, the Cade Cunningham. Did they even participate in All-Star Sunday here? Because they played at 8:20, they lost, and now they don't play again here. So that's the biggest thing. I think if we're going to keep this format, the target score here, as I said earlier, expand it to 32 players, have 4 teams of 8 All-Stars. That's why we can eliminate maybe the younger group that we saw last night, Zach Edey, Dalton Connect, players like that.
There used to be a time when you talk about the All-Star Weekend, the highlight of it was the dunk contest. So let's get to that because you had the 2-time defending champion, Mac McClung, and boy, did he put on the show. Jumped over a car. He had some phenomenal dunks. He beat Stephon Castle, who had some great dunks of his own in the final round, completes a 3-peat. And then seeing him win it for the 3rd time, Ja Morant and some other NBA players weighed in on social media. I want you guys to take a look here. Ja Morant, one of the biggest dunkers in the game, tweeted, Mac might make me decide to dunk. So then Giannis responded to him saying, if you do it, I'll do it with you. I'm 100. And then Zach LaVine, 2-time winner, also responded to Morant saying, thinking I might have to do it all over again as well. All right, Perk. Now, we saw this back, was it 2009? I think it was LeBron saw the dunk contest, and he got all juiced up and said, oh, I'm going to compete in the dunk contest. Never did it. What is your reaction to the NBA players talking about it on social media?
Look, shout out to Mac McClung for ruffling feathers. That's exactly what he did. He ruffled some feathers, and now guys are in their feelings, and now guys actually want to compete, which is a great thing for the NBA. We want our superstars to participate in the slam dunk contest. We want our guys to be on the big stage with the other guys before them have laid and took the slam dunk contest very seriously. When you look at guys like Kobe Bryant, Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, who participated in the dunk contest. So at the end of the day, shout out to McClung for putting the world on notice and putting the NBA on notice. And now the players are in their feelings, which is a great thing for the fans and the NBA.
Bobby, did McClung do enough? I'm talking about bring enough energy to bring the dunk contest back.
Well, he woke up a sleeping giant, certainly, when you win it 3 years in a row, and then you have certainly Ja Morant and Giannis and certainly Zach LaVine tweeting about it. Now we'll see. Will we see those players at the Intuit Dome next February? That's the true test. It's all reactionary now, but will we see these players next February competing against Mac contest?
Yeah, that's the issue. Will we see these guys compete next year? All right.
I'm on fire.